Hey, it's Denise Dory. Welcome to the Liberal Buzz Show. Our computers are down in the studio, so I won't be able to get, I just found out about this. So luckily my whole show isn't dependent on the computer today. So what I was going to say about today for the cannabis rights community, cannabis patients' rights, where we get free cannabis, which is something that the industry doesn't want. That's the whole point of Prop 64, was to take away our ability to grow 235 plants in collective gardens for each other. So that we went up to the, and now that wasn't the issue today, but the issue was, and I'm quoting Shona, she may or may not call in, and my show isn't dependent on a computer. I have it with, so. And I might touch on surveillance a little bit if we have time. So first I'm going to talk about the Planning Commission that we went to today. It was a meeting, and there was a hate group. We had to face down to, the cannabis community had to face, we fight enough amongst ourselves, right? But we had this Pacific Justice League, practically all Asian folks wearing white hats. And they don't want dispensaries opening. And there was a whole sea of hats. They went all the way down it was, so Shona's going to be there till 2 in the morning unless she left already. I don't know, but I had to leave. The sheriff wouldn't let me back in the building, but the planning community, we wanted them to vote on we wanted them to postpone a vote on some rules until they talk to patients, and they never do. So we got to, Shona's back. She's going to meetings again. I saw Ross Mercarimi today, and he's ex-sheriff Ross Mercarimi. He's still plugged into the cannabis community, and he was one that helped us get compassionate care in San Francisco, make that he tried to make it a binding resolution, but it was a non-binding resolution. It means, okay, that's a sweet idea, just like lollipops, and flowers. So, and the flowers rot, and the lollipops, and anyway, yeah, we become the suckers. So, I don't want to let them sucker us anymore, and you shouldn't either. So, I'm going to be announcing that on future shows, because we're going to be dealing with this for the rest of the year, about how to block this white supremacist takeover of the cannabis community, because it isn't okay. It's really not. And I was at the Americans for Civil Liberties Union last night, and I told them about the cannabis laws, because a lot of them hadn't read it, and they didn't know that all the problems there is with the money trail leading to the Rockefellers, who are part of the Illuminati, the Federal Reserve Bank and all that, is the reason why we don't use gold instead of, anyway, fiat currency. So this is what happened. Now these creeps and thugs, the Rockefellers I'm talking about, and the Federal, they're bullies. They did a hostile takeover of our cannabis industry, like I've been saying all along, and I'm about the only one who ever talks about it. If somebody talks about it, please let me know, but use Twitter. I'm right there. Denise Dory, Twitter, and I'd love to see your post as well. So, Shona said that we were item 11 today, and we sat in the in that room and with making all these regulations, and I think that I got through to them. And Shona did too. We gave public comment. We had 3 whole minutes to give public comment. So that was enough, because usually at the Democratic Party all I had was 1 minute. No, that's enough time to say your name and your organization, and cheers to all your haters, and then your time's up. So anyway, we're going to all the meetings we can to try and block all these meanies, these white supremacists. Please. Oh, we need numbers is what we need. So unfortunately I don't have the computer. I'd show you different events that are happening, and but you can look at the planning committee. We'll be posting it on Facebook. We post it on Facebook, and Shona and me. My name's Denise Dory, also on Facebook. And you can access our posts there until they, hack my account. So, oh, I shouldn't say that. So, see, now I did see Ross Mercury. It was just really strange that I would see him at this meeting. He was outside. He couldn't get in either because all the haters were, the haters in white, the white-hatted haters were waiting to get in, and they took up the whole room. Like, they could have filled the whole room 17 times. There was a lot of them there. It was crazy. I've never seen anything like it. It's getting worse. The problem that I used to remember that they were 10 years ago they'd come to try to block, but they weren't as organized as they are now. Now they've got all the same color of hats. They've got like they're taking their membership. They've like multiplied it 20 times. There's a lot of them now, maybe 30 times more than there were. Like, there's a couple of hundred at City Hall. I was just flabbergasted. If you tune into the Planning Commission reruns on your Comcast, you can watch what happens, because it's really, I recommend you look at the Planning Commission on the sfgov.org website, and you can look at what they've got to say about it. So you look at the Planning Commission, look at the agenda, click on the agenda, and sometimes it was a Small Business Commission had a meeting yesterday about it. I didn't go, so, and it wasn't on TV, but this will be on TV, the Planning Commission. So Shona was saying, I don't know if she's going to call in or not. It doesn't matter though. She's at City Hall. Yeah, she'll be there till 2 in the morning, till all those people have given public comment. 200 people are going to give public comment. Frank was there, and I don't know, he left too. He left probably before me. He talked to Ross too about this station, actually, and how things go wrong. We gotta sort things out. That's all I'm going to say about it. Oh, and by the way, I urge you to give generously to bayvac.org. Go to their website. You can donate any amount to them. They'll take it, I'm sure. And the whole community benefits. Now, getting back to, we didn't want them to vote on it today because for several reasons. I'm quoting Shona now. There's completely vague equity. There's one page, nothing which supports low-income patients, even though the Planning Department and Commission in 2014 voted that this must be included, and several stakeholders will not be able to attend due to the fires. Now, by the stakeholders, we're talking about the cannabis growers up north. They're not going to be able to attend because, they probably don't even have a place to lay their head. That PG&E, that was a PG&E fire. I'm 70% sure it was. So our position, our Axis of Love, our official position, is we shouldn't vote upon it yet, and that this must be included. The stakeholders, which are us, and the stakeholders, the growers, especially the compassionate growers. I wonder how much compassionate cannabis we aren't going to get now, because I know a lot of people that depend on cannabis, the free cannabis, or they'd get sick and have to be on Big Pharma, which is why they made our community illegal, because Big Pharma wants us on their dope. So that's how it is. Until we fix it, we have to make noise, get a show, talk about it, do it on just do what you can. Work for candidates that will support compassionate care if you can find one. If you can find one. So anyway, there was no community notice. They don't, these meetings, they don't even tell anyone. You have to check their website all the time, and sometimes they don't even put it on the agenda. They'll just, it's dodgy. And closed sessions. I remember they tried to have closed sessions when we had the Cannabis Task Force. The industry, Drug Policy Alliance and the Federal Reserve Bank and, the mob. We're just obstructing us all the time. They didn't reach quorum, and they joined our task forces and didn't reach quorum, caused a bunch of infighting, and tried to make us look bad, and they didn't. I've got it all on video, so I'll keep smiling, and they're gonna reap the rewards of being mean to people. It doesn't, you know, the pendulum will swing back. I'm not waiting. Let's push that pendulum a little so it goes a little faster. So it's not really, we're all still in shock over these growers, you know, and it's too important to rush. And so we right now we support a continuing of the item. So about 5 of us gave public comment, including Greg Ledbetter, myself, Frank was there, Shona. So we were all there. We supported this. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I went in there. They might not listen to me, but I'm going in there and planting seeds everywhere. And whenever the subject is cannabis, or I can go to there's another meeting about cannabis. Malia Cohen's putting it on October 21st. Check her page on Facebook. Malia Cohen, the supervisor of District 11, I believe. Yes, Malia Cohen. She now she's a mixed bag. I'm not, you know, I'm not dissing her. What I'm saying is, well, the only problem I really have with her is she said that Shona wasn't cool, you know, and Shona is cool. People were mean to her, you know. Like, how would you feel if you were in a room full of German shepherds and you're a kitten? You know, they got police, body armor, they got the Federal Reserve Bank behind them, really, because our lawmakers take money from bad people, and that's why you have to do some calls for them when they want to get reelected, or work on their competitors' campaign, any campaign that allows compassionate care. We got to get out there and do the don't make us, you know, me and a couple other people do it by ourselves. It's not doable. You know, they're too rich and powerful, and all we have are our shoe leather, you know, to wear out our shoes and make calls for them. That's you know, and walk precincts, campaign, register people to vote, that sort of thing. The same forces that got Donald Trump elected got us Prop 64. So isn't that funny? So is it really progressive? Progressive, I don't know. The progressives got Hitler elected, so let's just get real with that for a minute. So Shona finishes in saying, all the members of your email, we're going to be having a lot of meetings between now and the end of the year, before January 1st. And I'm not buying any of that cannabis because 80% of the tax money goes to police. How can I buy their cannabis with 80% of the taxes going to police? Please. Do we really need more militarized police in California? Yeah. I mean, and Governor Brown, you know, Gavin Newsom, he's using this as an opportunity to get himself elected governor. He wants to be governor next. And he might just make it too, and he's one of the ones that likes this Prop 64. He came right out and said he hated cannabis. So I'm not voting for Gavin Newsom. I'm not. He's an opportunist. Okay, he's good on same-sex marriage. He's good on actually legalizing cannabis, but the bill he supported didn't legalize it. It added more penalties. And it added more penalties for, guess who? Poor people and people of color. So we're not benefiting from this. We're not benefiting. And I expect the prices to go up. I've heard all sorts of conflicting stories. The prices are going up, the prices are going down. There's an abundance now. I don't know if there's an abundance of weed if half of California burnt down, especially in the growing area. So the triangle. So the Emerald Triangle, that is. So we got some issues. And let's see, here we go. Well, I don't have the internet right now, so I won't be able to give you that story. But I'm going to finish up with, well, I'm going to make an announcement about an upcoming show. It's going to be Axis of Love. It's going to be shown the second week in November about surveillance. And I'm going to be talking about surveillance in future shows. I've been going to seminars about police surveillance and brutality, so I was going to do the show about that today, but Shona said she was going to call, but now she's not calling, so that's fine. I'm full of stories. I'll never run out of stuff to talk about, even without the internet. So anyway, I'm old enough to remember there wasn't an internet. Frank and I are geezers. Hello, Gabby. Hello, I see you. My little punk rock girl. But this is an announcement that the revolution will be televised, archived, and analyzed. So, see, when Freddie Gray died of spinal injuries while in police custody in 2015, the city of Baltimore rose up in protest. Concerned citizens poured into the streets to make their voices heard and to demand change. It was democracy in action. Law enforcement saw something different. I mean, it was democracy isn't always neat. Democracy can be messy, and real democracy in France, they had to chop heads off to get it. So I feel like taking a big basket to the front of City Hall, it will need a pretty big basket for all those heads. So let's get started. Okay, enough. Anyway, law enforcement saw something different. Potential criminals that needed watching. Now we're talking about being made a criminal, not really, and then they're forced into even thinking that what they're doing is criminal behavior. I'm talking about smoking weed or selling a gram of weed, or things that just are victimless crime, victimless acts. I don't even want to call it a crime. So let's see, the clock isn't working, so I got to keep watching the clock on my phone. So now sometimes the police use stingrays, and they'll just park in front of your house, and the stingray will mimic a cell phone tower, So that's something that I want to cover in a future show. There's like 5 minutes left here. Yeah, 4 minutes. So let's back to Freddie Gray. So the police and the FBI switched on a powerful surveillance technology first developed for use against insurgents in Iraq. They're using military tactics on us. They can even see through walls now. Yes. Heat signature and even, all that. They use it to look for archaeological finds too. So the unblinking Air Force and afforded the police the ability to see who was doing what and when and where they were going and with whom. The sky spying was in addition to the existing 700 street-level police cameras. So the revolution will be televised, it'll be archived, and it'll be analyzed fully. And everything you post on Facebook, Twitter, those accounts, I've had my machines behave quite strangely when I got like 7 Russian friend requests in one night, and it was in the middle of the night, and it was all Cyrillic writing. I couldn't see, it was all Cyrillic. So, I mean, weird stuff happens, and I know the Russians are in my computer. I really think they are. So there's a thing you can do to your phone called encryption, but it's a hassle to use your phone after it's encrypted because you have to type in a code every time you want to change pages, every time you want to log, every time you do anything that they can hack into. Like if you like something, you have to type a code. If you like something on Facebook, got to type a code in. So that's to encrypt it, but then it's better than having them. Yeah, it's creepy. We shouldn't have to do this, but we do. So there's trolls out there. So I want to talk about that more because there's a lot to talk about. The ACLU is a great source of information. So stop by them. They're at 39 Drum Street, ACLU. Just press a button during office hours. You can go up and find out about your rights and how to fight for them. Because if you don't, they're going to disappear. And Who are we going to blame for that? Let's see. We got how long? 2 minutes. Okay, so there's a lot of juicy discussions behind this surveillance and the police that we can have. But that's in a future show. I can hardly wait. I've got some really good videos I took too of myself being surveilled, so I can't wait for you to see them. Now, I want to remind you to adopt a shelter pet on Alabama Street. They're waiting for you. There's plenty of animals that from the Orleans hurricane, the Texas hurricane, the Florida hurricane, which one? I know. Puerto Rico, they're not even letting those animals leave. They're just being so mean to Puerto Rico. I hope we get, that's why you got to work for candidates, so we get this guy out of office, you feel me? And don't accept anybody that's going to take your rights away, and talk to him before you just work for him. You know, find out who's giving him money if you can. Talk to we have to, because it takes more than one person. So, and also, please watch Psychic Frank's show next Thursday at 5 p.m. He's good at aura adjustment. He's given me some readings that are just fantastic. He knew all about my dad that passed away. Tomorrow's the 48th anniversary of my dad's murder in Oakland. He was shot in the back in Oakland in 1969, and he died instantly on the sidewalk. So this show's for him, Dad. And what else do I want to tell you? So adopt a shelter pet, watch Psychic Frank, and take care.